we did a little bit of change. So a couple of changes that Peng is working on defining the API interface. So I'm just trying to lay some background. Maybe I should share my screen first. Give me a quick second. So give me a sec. Okay. I mean, this you should take some consideration. Like, okay, let me share my screen first. Okay. Okay. Okay, you can see the doc, right? We can see the doc, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before we talk about it, right? I mean, when we basically are trying to create links, not booking links, right? When we book so actually the website right now we have a few. So the website that we added this already. So right now this is empty. So that's
Okay.
what we need to add. Okay, we already have some UI work going on. Uh, a little bit different is that when the book when Calendly or you can bookme.com when they create a meeting the link so we basically create a link basically more like a unique link every time we do not provide a general share link. They have a general share link like 15 minutes 60 minutes, and since we change this to be like I mean we can default have some like 15 30 45 60 minute slot, right? But we allow user to like increment it as a multiple of 15. So I think the backend should store just as integer, but you can assume it's a multiple of 15. So it to be more flexible. If the user wants to like a scale make like a 2 hour slot, I mean it's also fine, right? Just in case. So optionally, user can specify start date and end date. And also, I think by default, if the end date, if the user define an end date, we should expire the link after the end date, right? So it should not be no longer be used like if it passed the end date, right?
Mhm.
And also this buffer span, I don't know how Pen talk about it. We can talk about it later. Means if you have like from 7 to 8 meeting, but I don't want people to book immediately next to the meeting. Like let's say I have a 30-minute slot. I don't. So if I have a buffer span like 30 minutes, you cannot book like seven. You cannot book 6:30 to 7, right? I want to keep some buffer, right? And then also a boolean to whether to ignore task without duration, right? I mean, if we don't want to ignore task without duration, we just on the clock. Basically, let's say if I have a task like 6 o'clock and it doesn't have a duration, we just give start slot. Basically, if it's a 15-minute slot, that means 6 to 16, 6:15. Because we don't know the duration, right? Uh-huh. And link expiration and how long basically you can define like how long the link expire and whether it expire on booking, like if the first person book it the link expire. Actually the more thing we haven't talked about is uh, the user, let's say user click the link and made a booking, right? Made a booking and the link if it's expire on booking the link should be expired, right? But our database should store the user should provide an email because we need to send the email to both the owner. I mean like I share a meeting, right? A book me link, then I should get notified, right? And if you book it, you should have an email as well, right? And after that, the user should get a unique link in the email in case user can cancel or reschedule. So that's something to think about, but we are not tackling the problem at the current point. You get my point?
Yeah.
So this is more complicated, right? The modeling part.
Right.
So the modeling, you should have the UUID as the for the link. We can check what the pen design, but you need to think about the database schema, right? But there's another dimension here. The user may want to cancel or reschedule. How do we handle that, right? So once you user, let's say you click the link and you make a booking, you should get an email. At the end of the email, there should be a link. user can use that link to cancel or reschedule the meeting. Only that link can do that. Nobody else can do that. Maybe another UUID, maybe we can correlate the original link. I don't know. We need to think about that problem. But we don't have to think about this for now. Let's get this working first. Okay, because this is already a big part. Okay. Okay, Peng, why don't you share your screen?
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I need to go through the?
Let's just go through one at a time. What API do you have? Let's go to the controller first. Controller.
Create.
Okay. Can you share one controller? Okay. Now it's bigger. Booking links controller. Okay, that's booking links. Yeah. So the resource is booking links. Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we discussed, right?
And I create booking link params.
Okay. Okay. Let's create.
In the middle, we have start time, end time, and the owner.
I don't think front end will pass the long, and we usually use date, so that's all right. Can you check? Can you just check the recent commit? I mean, I think Random just made a commit. Can you go to GitHub? GitHub. Yeah, and commit. Okay, just check the last one. Yeah, this one.
This one.
Yeah, click on it. Okay, so that's the parameter. So it's a string. The format is YY. Look at the line 531. You need to say three parameters: start date, end date, time zone. So that's how we deal with this in the before. Basically, you passing a string. Basically, the format is YYY and dash MMDD. So copy this three. Yeah, you need time zone as well because we don't know which user the time zone it is.
String. So it should be string, right?
String. Yeah, not long. Long is too. So basically, we are only when you're creating a booking. If you and it's optional, right? It's optional. So it could be now. Yeah. Copy paste those two. Those three actually. Can you copy paste it over?
Those one.
Yeah. So if you look down, let's look at his code. Go down. Go down. Go down. Go down. So you see here we already know how to pass it, right? So you do on line 37. We have some helper method to convert the string. 37, line 37.
Yeah, right.
So if start date is not now, end date is not now, and the time zone is not now, right? We convert it to be zone the data time. Okay, so that's basically like a zone data time object. Then we can use it to convert timestamp to query database. So that become like a millisecond like a variable. Okay, got it?
Okay.
So that's why the front end only sends string. I mean, front end doesn't know how to convert it. Okay, for the back end knows. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, can you go back to your code? We'll change it. Just replace the start time and the end time.
And then so it should be
line 11. Just replace it. Line 11 and the 13. Not start time, start date. We don't not it's only YYYMMDD, so it's accuracy up to date and time zone. The user need to tell us the time zone. So that's for the front end sense, right? The front end tell you the date and the time zone. Okay. Just leave it. I mean, we don't have all the time to go through it, and you are pretty slow. And can you just add the time zone here in the private variable?
This one. Okay.
Better be before the owner. Those three should be grouped together.
Okay.
Can you move it up?
Put it up, right?
Move it up after the end date. After end date. After end date. After end date.
After end date. Okay.
Okay. You can fix it later. Okay.
Okay.
We are still missing a lot of variables.
So we will have the
Yeah, we're still missing a lot of variables.
time span, something. TTL. I actually.
We haven't done those yet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So at least you should. What should we call if we're calling slot? Potato cat. Are you defining it? What variable gonna name it for the slot?
I was just gonna name it slot.
In Calendly, I think it's called spot.
Oh, okay.
If we're gonna call it slot, then we should. So it should be an integer, right? Integer because it's a multiple of 15. So Pen, can you go down on lines 19? Add private. It's a must, right? So it's int. You must have it. So it's not nullable. You must have an int. What do we call it? So we are just trying to get the names. What should we call it? Slot. I mean,
Duration?
number, right? It could be 15, could be 30, could be 45, could be 60. Front end of the sentences.
Duration? No.
That's actually good. Actually.
Okay.
Look at what do you think? Because that's also the DB column, right?
Yeah, duration. I think that makes sense.
Is it too long?
Duration? I don't think duration.
What about slot span? That's shorter. Span. Slot span.
Slot
Okay, yeah.
span.
It's shorter. Yeah. I mean, duration is good, but it's just a bit too long. Time span, right? So like a slot span. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have? Let me check my Word document. What the other?
TTL.
So this basic potato cat would have to convert it into the DB column. And what's more, you still have the big problem like when you have different slot, how do you do the merge logic, right? Basic. Wait, do we need to do that? Wait. I still want to think of the other problem. If I share like a 15-minute slot span and if I mark, the problem is actually, let's go back a little bit, step back. Okay, let's step back. Last time we talked about let me quickly take over and share something, okay?
Okay.
Let me share, give me a sec. I want to just make sure we actually changed the strategy a little bit. It's actually different than last time, a bit. Okay, can you see the Word document? Can you see the Word document?
Yeah.
Okay. So last time we were saying, right? I mean, if we have a slot, let's say this is a 15-minute slot, right? 15 minutes. So and also we have like 30 minutes. That's the equivalent to 2 slots in 15 minutes, right?
Right.
Because we know it's a multiple of 15. So if you are viewing this and let's say you create a link and you mark those off, because you can manually mark it off, right? We mentioned that. And if you how do I say? If we mark those off, our system kind of know. So right now, because we are creating links, right? So if you're creating 30 minutes, that's a different link. Do we still need to memorize this selection? Because this seems to be related to this link. My point is like last time you had this problem because we want to say if user marks this off, and when user do the 30 minute, we want to automatically mark this off. I'm not sure that's true anymore because we are doing the but we are doing the how do I say? We are doing more like a link basis, right? What I mean is for a link, for every link you have those property, and we're gonna store it individually. So we're gonna so basically you in your DB you're gonna create a booking links table, right? And every link has a UUID as a primary key, start date, end date, buffer span, and so basically different link means different thing, right? I'm not sure this is reasonable way to memorize. I mean, you create a link, let's say you mark this off for this link, but that next day you create a 30-minute link. I don't think we want to memorize this anymore. Do you think so?
Yeah, so if you create a new link for the same start date or start time, end time,
We
then
don't remember the same stuff. You can create multiple. Right now, every link, let's say this is like a 5-letter UUID. This is just an example, right? Right now, more the logic is more like every link is like a unique individual link. They have its own property, right? So those parameter user can specify on their own. Last time we were looking more like they are mixing it together, like we are looking at the user's timeline. We think if user thinks this is off, and we'll automatically do this off. But that's not true anymore because right now we are not looking at the user's timeline. We are more like looking at the link as our object. Right now the link is our object, and all these property belong to this link. You can expire link, and also I mentioned actually in the UI. Similarly, we'll have 2 tabs. So right now here they have 3 tabs, right? 2 tab means 1 tab is for creating the slot. The other tab is like managing the link. What I mean by managing the link is, let's say if we have some shared link, let's say I created some shared link. So you can manage, I already have a lot of manage. So basically we want another tab to manage those links. And we probably will provide API to get all the links and show the property of it. What's the property is those. And the user can user can delete it. We are not allowing update. User can delete it or read it, what it means. And maybe it's associated with some email because some user booked it. The user can do that. So I'm not sure you need to deal with the translation anymore. It makes sense to everyone, or like does anyone know what I mean? So last time we think if user create, let me put it this way, scenario wise, let's say I'm a user A, I create a link with 50 minutes, and I think I mark this slot as off, so you cannot book this slot with me. Last time we said next day, if I create another link with 30 minutes, this will already marked off. But that's also weird. If I change my mind, I turn it on, what does it mean to this link, right? User is unaware this link will be changed. So that's getting a weird situation, I think. So basically, I think actually every link maintains their own property. We do not do the translation, right? So basically, when you create a new link, everything is like new, okay? Okay. But the user can, if user really want to create some like mark off, last time we said mark off, user can mark 1 slot off or something. Okay, so the recurrence rule I think is global. I think right now it's global. What it means is it's still global, is applicable to all links. We can do that. Okay. And the user can manually mark 1 slot on. This is applicable to 1 link. Okay, so we're talking about the link basis. This is applicable to 1 link. How does that look like? So when you generate 1 link, you can mark some slot off, and you can deliberately mark some slot on, right? And the global one is like by default, so some slot is off. You can create some recurrence rule, or you can even create some create a time. I mean, if you can create recurrence rule, you can also create a one time, right? Or 1 time span, right? So this is a global one, okay? But the priority wise, this and this wins, right? This and this win. This is more like sequence wise. So user can define some like a recurrence rule or 1 time span to be marked off, only off, right? Not on, only off. So it's kind of like your setting, right? It's kind of like owner's setting, right? this works more like your setting. And when user create a link, by default, we will use this default setting to mark some slot off, right? So basically we check your, basically, yeah, it's like this. So we apply existing task to mark off, right? And we check those you define the setting to mark it off. And you can further mark off and mark some slot on. Those two are only for one link basis. Does this make sense? Or you get what I'm saying? Anyone is confused what I'm saying? I can say it again.
I'm lost.
Okay, let me repeat it again, okay? So actually with some UI, okay? So let's say I have a time span. Let's talk about this week, right? So I have some appointment already, right? So this is my calendar. And that means, let's say I want to create a link from May 10 to May 15, right? Let's say I have a link to May 10 and May 15, okay? And if I have a link for May 10 to May 15, and when I generated a link for May 10 for May 15, let's say I have a bunch of slots. Let me use another document. Okay, let me draw a new one. Let's say this is May 15. So I have a slot, one slot, another slot. I have some slot, right? Let's say this is like a 30-minute slot, right? And let's say I have a meeting here in my current calendar. So this is marked off. Okay, so these are marked off. And I have another meeting here at this slot, maybe 2 slots. So those will be marked off. Okay, so that's when you generate the link, what you see, right? When you generate a link from like for this week, we generate some slot, and some is already marked off. So that's the first we apply existing task to mark off, right? Whether it has duration or not depend on user checks this or not. If user checks this or not, right? Okay. Okay. Second thing is, let's say I have a setting page. Okay. Let's say I have a setting page, kind of like this setting, but it should be in the UI wise it should be in here. Okay. Let's say I have a setting page. I can define, let's say here in setting page, I can define currency. I can define my time zone. I can define my default reminder, right? So let's say user have some setting page to say, okay, I'm not available every Monday morning between 8 and 9. So that means when you look at the slot, the first slot, let's say the first slot is from 8 to 8:30, right? And 8:30 to 8:90 is already marked off. So these two are marked off, right? So that's your default setting, right? When you create a link, by default, we already mark some slot off based on your availability. And then the user can do further manipulation. Let's say, oh, I want to enable this one. Let me turn this on. So, right, I want this link to be available for this, and I want to mark this off. So that's more like mark one slot off and mark one slot on. But this is only applicable for one link. Let's say I create another link. That's like a 30 minute. So it's like this, like this. So this is 60-minute link. I create another link. By default, this is off, right? Because here, this is off. Even though I turn this on, let's say I turn this on in this link, but this is not applicable for this link, right? We still, in this link, we still use your setting and your existing task. And this is off. Sorry, this is not off because you manually mark this as off in this link. It's not applicable here, right? And this is off. This is on. Does it make sense? Does it make sense now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, basically, our logic is a little bit better than what Calendly have. Is that Calendly doesn't have this because we have a user's own schedule already, right? User have own schedule. We can leverage that, and also, I mean, these two, the Calendly already have it, right? Also, we support the user can have some default recurring because Calendly they don't have recurring, right? I'm not sure we can do one-time spot, maybe this is off, right? Because this can be solved by this, right? So maybe we don't have to support that. Because recurring, because I can imagine like I have a meeting that is but it's not in my calendar, but I mean maybe not an event, right? I want to, let's say I take a snap during 12 to 1 p.m., right? During 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's not a task for me, but I don't want anyone to book me on that time slot, right? So, and I don't want to do it again and again. Maybe for now we only support the recurrence rule, okay? Basically, I want to create a recurring rules that I mean nobody can book me on that slot, right? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, okay. I think now let's switch to Pen. Pen, can you go back? Did you fix your code already?
Not yet.
Yeah, let's continue. Share your screen. So this is a big website feature, okay? Because the Calendly itself is just, I mean, the Calendly and the youcanbookme.com itself only have those features, and we are building more features than it, okay? Okay, you didn't take time to change. Okay, okay. Let's see. Okay, what else do we need in the parameter?
So it's the time span.
Let's see. Start date, end date. Okay. One thing is ignore task without duration, right? That's a Boolean. What should we name it? First, add Boolean. Boolean for sure. What should we call it? Let's call it. Let's say. In code it should be shorter. Okay. Duration task without duration. How about include? Oh my God.
You mean
It's gonna be too long.
Boolean variable for what? For the
Should we ignore task without duration? Basically, the Boolean means if it's a checkbox, right? Basically, true means if the task doesn't have duration, we just simply ignore it. If it's false, means if the task doesn't have duration, we use it on the clock, basically, right?
But this can be calculated in the service level.
In the what?
In the repository. I mean the controller. I mean you define this event, so you mean the user can click the checkbox to enable that?
Yeah, I mean, user can choose when user create a link, right? Basically, it's like a form. It's like we create a task, right? That has a bunch of feature. I mean, a bunch of attributes to turn on and off, right? To select, right? To fill in, basically. It just right now, it's just a matter of how to name it, right? Or we can do the opposite, like include the task with duration.
Include it.
If we make it shorter, just include duration.
Include
No, that's bad. Include task. Task without the duration. Can you try that?
include
Include task with duration. I try to make it short.
the duration. Duration.
D-U-R-A.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's true means tag with. Okay, I think it should be without duration. Without, because it has duration, we always include it.
Include what?
Without.
With results.
Without duration. Yeah.
Oh, it's
without. O-U-T.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Next, another Boolean is expire on booking. Boolean. Expire on booking.
Expire on booking.
That means if once a user book it using this link expired. Okay. The other one is link expiration time. Maybe this is more like Okay. In the website, what do we do for the expire? I need to check. Can you check? We have a share something parameter. What does it do? Can you check the params folder? Under the params folder. Yeah, let's search for S. Go down. Share. Okay, share project item param. Double click on it. Do we have TTL? Okay, that's the TTL. TTL it means in days. Okay, we this means how many days it will expire. What about our link? Go back to our link. Let's just use a string like expire date. Okay. Expiration time, expiration date. Okay.
Expire date, expiration date.
Expiration date. It's optional as well. Also optional. Make it a bigger bool. Make it a boolean. Actually, no need. Because by default it's for it's not a boolean actually. It's just let's make it a string.
String.
Yeah, it's still YYMMDD. Okay, so it's optional. If we user want to expire on some date, we can because we already have the time zone.
Optional.
Wait, if we already have end date, do we need an expire date?
End date is your time slot time, but
Yeah,
expire is the link.
Yeah, but why should they be different?
Expiration date.
So expiration date can be only earlier than the end date, right? Because after the end date, it automatically expire.
Yes.
Right?
Expire date. Yes, I think.
Yeah. I mean, unless you still want to keep it. Well, let's leave it for now. I mean, maybe we don't have to automatically delete it. I mean, user might want to use it for some purpose. I don't know. But I think it's nice to have an expiration time, right? I mean, usually it's earlier than. I mean, by default it can be just now. It's optional. I just wondering, do we even need this? I mean, do we want to keep it simple for user? Do we need to? I mean, when you create it, we don't need the expired date, right? Let's just leave it. Let's just kill this. I mean, yeah.
It's kind of useless. I mean,
Yeah.
in general, end date always be the expiration date.
Yeah, but we are not. I'm not sure we want to do end date automatic expire because we don't. The user may find it. Oh, why did the link gone? Why is the link gone? Because we don't know it. For now, I think let's keep it single. So first, remove this expiration time date. We don't want to do this. Keep it simple. Calendly doesn't do it. We don't want to do it. Yeah, making things more complicated. The user might find it weird. Why? What this is for? And we keep end date optional. But we do not automatically expire it. So let's leave it for now. Okay. What else do we have? I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good for the post. So what you need to do is prettify this code, and you already see Randall's code, right? How to convert it to, so add that code in this controller as well, okay?
You mean?
GitHub, you see how we convert it. Go back to the GitHub page. So you can do that later, but so copy those code later, okay? Copy over those code how it does how it converted from the string to the zone, the data time, okay?
Okay.
It take a string and time zone to convert it to zone data time. You need this. Yeah, you can copy this over now. I mean, maybe do it later, okay? Copy it and maybe do it later, okay? So here, so you see in Peng's code in line 31, he will generate 8 character alphabetic UUID. That's gonna be returned as the link, okay? That's what we use, okay? Okay, Peng, you can prettify it later, and once you're ready, you can submit it. So next time you should give us the get API, right?
Get APIs, get the.
I think here also you should not return the string. You should just return the booking link object, not just the UID. Do you have the booking link model ready?
It's here.
You already defined it. Okay. Cool. I think you need to change something. Yeah, you need to update this accordingly. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it should have UUID, not string ID. Wait. Don't use the expose. Expose is for JSON. Remove the expose. Expose is for JSON to serialization, not used here.
Oh, this one? Okay.
Yeah, this is get rid of. Yeah.
I just copy paste.
Valid. I don't think you need a valid. Get rid of the valid. Okay. Okay, you don't have the string ID. You should have the UUID. Okay, just change the ID to UUID. So you have an owner. Owner is who created it. Okay. The owner is not in the create param. Go back.
This one?
It's not in the create param. Remove this owner. It's automatically in the username in the right. When you have the username, that's the owner, right?
Username.
Line 32. You have 3 panel. Go to the right panel. Right.
This one?
Go to the controller. Line 32.
32.
So username is who made the request, right? Whoever sent the post request is the owner. So use that username as the owner, okay?
Okay.
You don't have to have it in the payload, okay?
Okay.
But when you return the booking link object, it does have the owner, yeah. Okay. So you need to spend some time to, I mean, booking link. I don't know. You can, we need to calculate the slots, as you said. But I mean, how you make the object is still, I guess we still have some trouble, representing the slots, right? Right now you are using a long. I'm looking at your first panel, the booking link object, line 23. Line 23.
23, this one?
The first panel. I'm looking at the first panel. You have 3 panel open. The left side, the booking link, right? I noticed that line 23. Line 23.
23, this one, right?
So you are trying to return. I think a slot itself should be an object, right? Because it has a status like on and off, right? Or I mean, the slot should have start time and time, right?
Yeah.
The front end need to use it for time zone and stuff.
So you mean that a list of object?
I'm still thinking about it. Maybe Potato Cat, you can chime in. Now you have more time right now, right? Potato Cat,
right? Yes.
And also your DB need to store it. Can you schedule time with Potato Cat to work this out? I mean, how we I mean, you still need to finish the controller for the create. I think the create param is most ready. Okay, I think the create is most ready. But the booking link, you return booking link, right? What should be in the booking link, right? You should have TTL should be gone. Remove TTL. You don't need the TTL anymore. TTL, get rid of it. We agree. We don't want that. So most of the parameter in the class create book in the middle panel, the create booking link param should also be in the. You can copy paste those over. We definitely need those. Yeah, copy paste it over. Yeah, it should be a subset of. Keep the slot. No. Keep the UUID. Keep the slots. Keep the slots for now. Keep the owner. Keep the owner. Owner, we need it as well. Okay, remove, return. And for the slot, we should have a slot class. Right, we need to define slot class, but how you define it? I feel it should be just index, like 0, 1, 2, 3, because the front end can use it to represent it. Because we don't know what the front end time zone is, and we don't want to give an epoch time. Epoch time is too difficult to match the time zone. You see what I'm saying? So because we already have the slot span, right? So I think we can just give a slot for each slot object, it should have the beginning and the ending, right? Beginning and no. Every slot should just have the index 0, 1, 2, 3, right? I mean, the 0 means the beginning, like 12 a.m., right? 0000 a.m., right? So depending on your slot span, I mean, you basically multiple your slot span on the slot index, right? Slot index. So anyway, you guys need to define a slot representation, how to define. And the Potato Cat, you need to work out how the DB schema is defined corresponding to this. Okay.
Okay.
Randall? Yeah, sorry, you have a question?
Yeah. So if we use index, does that mean the backend doesn't translate the index into time according to users'
have
time
to
zone?
do that. When you generate, when you calculate. So when you calculate what slot is available, what slot is not available. So the slot have a status on or off, right? You still need to. So what the logic has to be done is, if in the future Pen create another API, get bookings links, get booking link, right? The booking link contains slot. Like I mentioned, do you remember my join, right? We first apply your existing task, right?
Right.
If I have a meeting already, those slots should be marked off. How do you determine that? You need to get all your tasks during the time range to.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and then you need to apply the recurring rule to further mark some off. And yeah, basically it's marking on and off, right? Marking those interval off, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think?
So basically right now just for now just mark everything to be on. Okay, we don't want to tackle the logic right now. Okay, so
Okay.
every slot right now is just on for current being, right? In the future, you guys can work together. Like maybe Peng will write some of the logic because you are more in the middle layer. So anyway, it's a big chunk of logic actually. For now, mark it as on, right? Later we need to mark some off, right? And if user manually mark a link off, potato cat, you need the API and to store it, right?
Right.
That should be associated with the link itself. Maybe I'm thinking maybe a column like in integer array, right? PostgreSQL support integer array actually.
Integer.
I mean array type. You can look it up. Yeah, we have like I can show you actually. Give me a sec. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just like brainstorming. I'm not saying this is the right answer. Okay, let me first let me. Okay, can you see my screen? So PostgreSQL have this special type we used for label. Like here, this type is called okay, label. Label is big int, right? Big int array. So that's a special type. If you check the DDL, DDL is the schema. Let's open it. So that's big int, right? So in the code, it's a little bit difficult. I'm just thinking the index is for the user manually marked as off or on. You can use two column, right? So instead of JSON blob, I mean, you have two choices basically, right? One is JSON string, right? One is let's say node. Okay, node. Okay, this is the front end, back end. Project item label. Yeah, I see the syntax is a little bit special. It's not built in Hibernate. So we're actually using some library. You can copy paste this. So I mean, you basically have two choices, right? One is store it as a string and do a JSON passing. One is more like this. I prefer this. This is more like a like a more strong type, right? But you can define your own once you make your mind. Okay. Just showing your choice. Okay. Make sense? Any question? Any question? Okay. Randall, before we go, I have a more like a task for you to think. So we mentioned you think about it when you have time because we haven't thought about it. It's also a design question. So we mentioned, right? We want the user to click the link and make a booking, right? I mean, maybe it will expire. We don't know. So one question: if it expire on booking, do we delete it or we just make a boolean? Do we just remove the record in the DB or we just use a boolean? Why this is a question is that I want to user be able to cancel or reschedule it. How would you solve this problem? Just give us some thinking. When you have some thought, we can have a discussion. Okay.
Sure.
But for now, we don't have a slot. I mean, we will have a link booking links table. I don't think we'll have a table dedicated for slot. I mean, slot is more just index. So, I mean, in the front end, we will make it an object. But in the DB, we don't have that, okay? In the DB, we don't have a table for slot, okay? That's why database and the front end is separate, okay? They're two separate objects, okay? So separate class, okay? So we may store it like a int array, and we can calculate the slot on and off, maybe to I mean, slot it should itself be a class, like have a status or something, right? But in the DB, we may only store like a user manually marked on and off slot, right? Maybe two columns. One is the user manually marked on, one user manually marked off, right? But I don't think we need a table for slot itself. I mean, it's not like you have a class in the front end. You need a table in DB. That's two separate things, okay? That everyone agree, right? Okay. So basically, right now the schema more like a potato cat. You will have a booking links table, okay? Booking underscore links table. Make sense?
Right.
Links, right? Plural, okay? That's the DB table you're gonna create, and the entity and the repository, okay? But when it expire, do we delete it? And what's more, can user cancel or reschedule it? I mean, when user cancel the link, when the user click the link,